Check it, you out and about in the streets and digital space with Marcus G and Coach with the play.
TB.
What we talking about, Coach?
Today's article, the tip is double-edged sword and holding people accountable.
Cutting heads off.
Finding the balance between fear and love.
Woo, fear and love.
Yeah.
I like love.
I like fear, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, man.
Yeah, I want them to fear us because we coming.
Yeah. Fury Road.
Feel me?
Yeah.
It is a balance, you know, fear and love. And if you love a person that does something that you don't approve of, especially in a business aspect, regards to someone making a mistake on the job.
It happens.
And if you are a general manager or CEO or COO running a business or running an organization and one of your people that's helping you make a mistake that causes a setback, there's a fear that you could overreact, cause the person to get upset, quit, and walk off the job, or you can show some love and say, hey, we all make mistakes. I understand. Just try to do better and look out for me on the next one I give you or next time I ask you to help out. And keep on moving because none of us are perfect.
People are scared to show love?
Not that they're scared to show love. There is two things that you're dealing with all the time because we live in a complex universe. So we're never doing just one thing at a time or dealing with one thing at a time. Like I'm breathing and my heart is beating at the same time.
Multifaceted.
I'm talking and I'm breathing.
At the same time.
Right. You have love and you have fear. So there's a fear that I could overreact and cause this person to quit and really fail me? Or should I show a little bit of love and compassion and empathy with regards to this any particular situation? That is the balance that we are going to try and find and moving forward in business. Delicate balance it is. But it must be found. Tact and tone is one of the key measures of a good manager. Tact and tone.
You know what I fear? People not doing their best. Because I can see when people are putting their best foot forward. A lot of people sit there and they'll tell you things. I fear for them if they're going to not put their best foot forward because that's all I ask. Because I'm going to show love and you let me know what's going on and you don't let me go in somewhere blind, I'm all good. It's like it's nothing but love. I understand. Like you said, mistakes happen. But when you just let me go in and get my head chopped off, it's like, I thought we was on the team. That's not showing me love. No, we all make mistakes. That's part of life. But it's how we decide to deal with them is the biggest issue. So it's like, yeah, fear for yourself if you're going to be one of them people who aren't going to be truthful with your intentions. You're going to be doing underhanded stuff. Like, they're going to be there because you creating a situation where love can't be shown.
Would you say their best is relative to individual perspective? Meaning like, you may think that they're not doing their best, but they may think that they're doing their best. So if you see something in a person, maybe they could do better, would it be up to you as the manager or the owner to try to get their best out of them or promote them higher to say, hey man, you can do much better than what you're doing, or wait, won't you do it this way? So having fear of someone not doing their best could be relative to your perspective.
Definitely. I think there is a standard that needs to be established, and having open communication and dialogue is important because now you can establish a benchmark to be like, look, I see you doing your best. I believe you can do better. I believe that if you do these simple adjustments, that you will be better at whatever job or situation that it is. So that's where you show love because it's like, look, I see you handling the task, but I know that you can do better. So let me help you figure out the best way to do this task or job better. Because now that's showing love because we gotta make sure that we reach in delivering a quality product.
Yeah, the reason why I said that is because I always sometimes relate things back to the dealership, you know? And if I got a sales manager that I appointed to be the manager, which is gonna make a higher percentage of the regular salesman, and I see the salesman losing customers or not closing deals, then I would have a conversation with the manager and say, it's your job to make sure that they do their best, or do better.
That's one of the responsibilities of a leader, a manager, somebody's in that position, is to motivate the team to do the best, what they say, fulfill the goals and missions of the company.
Yeah.
And if you're not leading a team to do that, then you're not really doing your job. So I get what you're saying.
Exactly. So doing your best is relative to leadership. Like you said, Marcus, a person can do their best, but a person can also make a mistake. There is a fear and a love involved.
Mm-hmm.
I fear that I could overreact and this person could quit, or I fear that my emotions could make me fire this person, or how much love do I have for this person? That you have to be somewhere in the middle so that you can have a smooth operation going forward. Because if you fire that person and another person come in and then that person makes a mistake, then you're going to fire that person too. So you'll just continuously be firing people versus motivating. And you never know, that same person that made that mistake could come back around and cause you to make millions of dollars, depending on what type of business you involved in.
I definitely get what you're putting down.
So it's a double-edged sword.
I think it's a certain amount of fear that we need to have in our life. There's the thing called fight or flight, and if you do not have a certain level of fear, you're going to make mistakes because you don't have any restraints type situation, because now it's like, oh, I don't fear anything, I'm just going to do whatever that I want to do. Nah, that's not the way it works.
No, you can't work like that because accountability comes involved.
Exactly.
So when you start holding people accountable, then that dictates the relationship, whether you care about that person or not. Because, hey, if you hold a person accountable, 9 times out of 10, the person is going to become better because they know they're being held accountable. If you don't hold them accountable, it's like, do you really even care about that person even losing their job? Because now, if they're not being held accountable and they keep making mistakes or screwing up and causing the company to lose money,
I fear they're going to lose their job.
job.
So that's where fear comes in. So it's really more of like an accountability type thing more than anything else. It's just being accountable for your actions. And like I said earlier, it's like, look, do your best, be accountable, hold yourself accountable, and hold me accountable. Let's hold each other accountable so that we can make sure that we all are on the same page. Now, when you have that mutual accountability, a lot of things dissipate within the issues, because now it's like, look, it's all love, but we got to get down to business. We got to make this happen. I'm going to make sure that I'm holding myself accountable for my mistakes, because I fear that if I'm not doing my best, that you can't do your best.
Absolutely. At the heart of accountability lies communication. Everything you just said is important, correct, because as long as you communicate properly, there shouldn't be a fear of anybody losing their job or any frequent mistakes,
Yeah.
if you holding a person accountable. And it's important that we embrace mistakes,
Okay.
because mistakes are going to happen.
Right.
And ahead of time, we should think, as managers, supervisors, CEOs, COOs, you should think, what am I going to do if one of these guys make a mistake? I tell you a story. I had a guy, he was a sales rep, and we already had schooled him on how we operate at my particular dealership.
Right.
We do not give customers more information than they need.
Right. Information overload.
Right. So if a customer comes back and have a issue with a car.
Okay.
For example, I had one customer one time came in and said, hey, Mr. Braxton, now all of a sudden when I put my car in gear, I feel a little bump with the engine. Right? And she was telling me that over the phone. I said, okay, I know exactly what it is. It sounds like a motor mount. Bring the car back to me and we'll get it fixed for you. No worries. And we'll give you a loaner car until your car is fixed.
Right.
That's a Lexus, so she loved her car.
Of course.
And I think she was driving around in maybe a Toyota Camry or something, but she wanted her Lexus back.
Yeah.
The guy was crowded, my mechanic, he was kind of backed up.
Right.
So she would call like every other day, like, when is my car gonna be ready? When is my car gonna be ready? And the sales rep was supposed to tell her, we'll call you when it's done, or when Mr. Braxton come in, we'll have him call you.
Yeah.
He wound up telling her where the car was at the mechanic shop. And we don't do that.
Right.
Because we don't mix our customers with the mechanic, because that's not his responsibility.
Right.
So if she goes...
Because now she talking to the mechanic asking all this stuff. Now you done open a can of worms and you done create a situation that was unnecessary.
A problem.
A bigger problem.
Right. So she goes over there fussing at the mechanic, talking about, you need to hurry up and fix my car and all this, why my car... And now my relationship with the mechanic is like...
Strained.
So that's a big mistake.
Yeah.
And you have to say, sit him down and communicate properly with him and let him know that that's something that we don't do here. We deal with our customers here. We don't let no other person or shop deal with our customers. That's our responsibility. So people do make mistakes, and you gotta give them a shot. But if they go and do it again, then I fear that they will lose their job. So definitely is a balance you have to address when it comes to fear and love and holding people accountable. We're gonna slide over there and holler at Chef T.
Hey, peace family, how you doing? Chef T at Terra Cafe in the heart of Baltimore City. We're located at 101 East 25th Street. The restaurant here, Terra Cafe, back during the Chitlin Circuit, was called The Red Door. The Red Door was a jazz supper club, and it was nicknamed the Trading Ground.
We wish Shayna 100%, so anything we can do for you, you let us know.
Important things that we have to do is we have to teach them to have the ability of doing what we're doing right now. So let's work together.
I agree. That's why I asked you to come, because I know we're on the same page.
I've been on hiatus really for about the last year.
Okay.
I've had some real challenges dealing with this administration and dealing with the city and dealing with the state.
That's why you have a team, because what I share with him is that Marcus is his chill.
Mm-hmm.
So when it's time
he's
for
the most
chill
dangerous
to go
one at the table.
Exactly. But when
he's probably the one with the big gun.
True.
What I'm saying, when it's time for the energy of him, then he goes in.
Yeah.
But when it's time to shut it down and say,
that's it,
then you got Tony, and same vice versa for you.
Yeah. And I mean, it definitely is key. Like I said, I've been on hiatus for a minute, and even on hiatus, they still come at me. I look at a window in time, and I take a piece of paper, and if we wanted to gauge some stuff, at a certain period of time, I was paying $50 for a case of chicken, party wing, for wings. Now I'm paying $138. At one time, I was paying $2.24 for gas. Now I'm paying $4.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? We have to learn to slow this thing down so that we can make the right decisions for ourselves, and we can have intelligent and not emotional responses. You feel me?
Absolutely.
And you're right on page. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Man.
And it becomes a building the wealth myself.
That's important.
That's the part that I look at.
And then people won't mess with you.
A true formula of success.
There you go.
You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So when we're in conversation, something that I'm not versed in and I don't know, all right, I have the respect to keep my mouth closed and learn.
Mm-hmm.
The real thing of wealth, all right, the generational wealth is the things that we put in between.
That's right. That's right.
You got some seeds you plant, and they might not do nothing for 3 years.
It's true.
Okay?
Okay.
Have you ever heard of Les Brown?
Yeah, Les.
And have you ever heard of the bamboo tree?
Yeah.
His analogy of that.
Of course.
All right? That this guy was watering this tree.
Yeah.
This dirt. All right? For 1 year, 2 year, 3 year. He's watering. He's coming out, people in the village talking about him. He's crazy. That's the crazy man that watered the ground.
Right.
Yeah.
All right? And then one day, a sprout came up.
Uh-huh.
Okay? And everybody quiet. He kept watering. And then within 3 months, 6 months, she was 30 feet high. The question is, did it grow 30 feet high in that 3 or 6 months? Or did it grow 30 feet high in that 5 years of war?
Right, the 5 years.
The 5 years of war is where it really grew. So see, a lot of times when you're actually doing something, you won't really see the result or the results from it right then.
Right.
But that wealth of knowledge of financial literacy and that legacy in your head will commit you to keep going. Okay?
Yeah.
It commits you to not give up. It commits you not to sell out. Because
Absolutely.
you know that you will harvest.
Yeah.
And see, a lot of times is that in our community, we've never seen the harvest.
My father put between my head fidelity. And you need fidelity in order
Absolutely.
to not see that sprout come up and still maintain and be cool until it happens.
And see, that becomes the great part. A lot of times when we start a business, we only got 3 or 4 pieces.
Right.
So what happens is that you go 1 year, 2 year, and then all of a sudden, because you have to understand they're coming.
Yeah, I like to come and get a meal, man.
All right, next
like
week.
Caribbean food or
Originally from Orangeburg, South Carolina, the concept is tricking people into eating healthy. So I take a lot of your favorites and create them in a healthy aspect.
Address
We'll
one
be
more
sharing.
time.
The address is 101 East 25th Street. I'll be sharing a few new dishes that we're going to be actually launching here at Terra Cafe, a new energy and a new feel. But we're going to get back to the roots of it. We're going to get back to the roots of basis of entertainment, and that's coming out together.
it's all about uniting the different businesses together, the exclusive investment club that we are preparing so that we can create and teach others how to create generational wealth that we can pass down through the generations. That's the main goal. And one way of doing that is holding people accountable to solutions. And one of the ways you hold a person accountable to a solution is knowing the problem. Of course, we know the problem, but we need to be accountable to whether or not we putting forth the solution. And me and MGL is putting forth the solution of a consortium creating a family office so that we can be more empowered to be successful in our businesses going forward.
Definitely, because we out and about, we talking to different entrepreneurs, business owners, and looking for great opportunities for everybody to come up and flourish, because this isn't just about individual. This is a multi-faceted thing of success and generating wealth, because there are people out here who have opportunities. There are people looking for jobs, people looking for investments, growth, and we really are creating an economic impact. So when we out and about and we talking to people, it's really about business. So if you got a business person who has an idea, let us know about it so we can tap in with them and talk about some of the things that help businesses become better.
Empowering our people that surround us. Because if we empower our surroundings, it has no choice but to empower yourself. If you empower your surroundings, there's no choice but for yourself to be empowered, right?
Exactly. We out
And about
in the streets,
cyberspace.
digital space.
We want you to like,
Share.
and subscribe to the podcast Out and About. Till the next time.
We out.